We're at this screen with Premiere, and we're going to bring in a clip right here, and we're going to try to export it right now. This one is going to be a short tutorial. I know it's not too hard to explain. Since you got importing done correctly with me, you're going to have exporting now done correctly with me. Okay, so let's watch the clip, make sure everything is in. I'm going to place in a few fades. Now remember that we had everything set up for 1080p HD, which means my Sony FS100 is set for 1080. We brought it in as 1080, so there's no problem. And now we're going to bring it out 1080. If we bring it out 720, we can just lower the resolution once we export, or we can go as low as 480, which is the SD format. SD format meaning a mini DV or any of the consumer cameras that are used today use 480. But I rarely see that happening now. It seems like everybody stepped up to at least 720 or 1080. Okay, so we're going to watch the clip.
Hello everyone, my name is Pierre-Louis from the Pierre-Louis Co. Today I'm going to be teaching you from the Adobe Premiere Suite how to import footage.
Okay, so that was with me saying import footage. Let's go ahead and render. Make sure everything is rendered. We're going to render an entire work area. Make sure everything is rendered so that it processes smoothly. You can see the green line. Now it changed from yellow to red, so now only green. It should be only green. There we go. Now it's only green. So now we're going to export this file. You can go to File, Exports, Media, or if you want to, Command M as a hotkey for it. Okay, so here's a couple of things I have to teach you. Now remember when we were importing, we didn't want to import the format wrong. Now for Apple, we import import and export as QuickTime. QuickTime works very well with Apple because you have all of the presets set right here to where you won't have to make your own preset or think about messing up. As you can see, we have it set on HD 720p. We have it set to HD 1080p, which right here, Apple ProRes, HD 1080p. Okay, right here. This will be the correct one because it also says it's 23.976 frames per second. Remember, we were set on 24 frames per second, so this will be the right one. If we go to H.264, which is for Android, and the Google tablets, you can see there's different settings for this as well. There's HD 1080p 23.976. The same thing that we're looking for is 23 frames per second, 24 frames per second, and it being 1080. If you go down to 720, it'll be 720p 23.976 frames per second. So just making sure that you're clicking the correct thing is what separates the quality and the clarity of your video file when it's finally exported from this program, Adobe Premiere, into an actual video file. Okay, so let's go ahead and leave it at 720. Now actually let's go ahead and bring it back to QuickTime. Since we're using Apple, I'm going to go ahead and follow ProRes, and we're going to go ahead and set it to 1080p 23.976 and compatible video. I don't know why it's saying that. Let's try this one. If it's giving you trouble on Apple ProRes, you can always take it to the Android market and get the same quality. Get the same results from last time. So instead of making the Android tablet, you're gonna make it just the actual codec. See, there it goes, HD 1080p 23.976. That's the exporting medium that you want to have. As you can see, when you go down to video, the width is 1920 by 1080. That's the 1080 size, the length and width size of it. It's on 23.976. As you can see, it only goes up to 60 frames per second, just like the camera, just like my camera. So it shows that we're in the right codec with AVC HD, where we're in the right file size with AVC HD, and we have not gone to a bigger size camera yet. For audio, and make sure our audio is set up perfectly. It's in audio codec is AAC. The sample rate is 48 hertz, and it's in stereo, not mono, but stereo. The audio quality is high. The bit rate is 19.192. and it's not sample rate. As you can see, just a quick estimation as to how big your file is going to be. Like, you can look at the output and see everything that we had addressed with these two tabs are basically placed here. Now, because the file is only like 9 seconds, it's not gonna be it's not gonna be as big as a file as we expected, but the file quality is still up to par, and we have not compromised the file quality from the best quality ever to bringing it in and importing it to exporting it. So we still have the same quality that we did from the time we press record on your camera to the time of exporting. So if there's any case where you wanted to lower the quality and bring it down to 720, you can just use your preset button and figure out the format. Use your preset button and bring it down to 720 HD. Bring it down to 720 HD, and this is YouTube. So you can even set it for Vimeo or for YouTube as well. TiVo, and there's PAL and NTSC, which are two different things that we discussed before. PAL is basically a codec used for outside of the country, and NTSC is used for American standards. So it's a HD 1080p 23.976 per second is fine. We're gonna call it exporting, and now we're gonna go to your queue. Use maximum render quality. It's supposed to be checked. So your estimated file size is going to be 99 megabits per second. Now you can click export, and it will export it directly to the desktop or wherever it says it's going to get it. So the settings are already set for desktop exporting. We can just click this button to make sure that it is. We already have it titled as exporting, and it's set to your desktop. So we're going to click save, and we're going to set it to our desktop. Now, or we can go into our queue. We can go into our queue to see how many things are supposed to be exporting right now. There should be only one, hopefully. There should be only one, and it's going to open up a new program for you, Media Encoder. And Media Encoder, when you go through Media Encoder, it basically shows you how many files that you have to export at the same time. If you have multiple files to export, or if there's a list of them that you have to export, you can export them all one at a time. But it gives you basically like a list of all the files that needs to be exported. As you can see, there's two things that has to be exported. Somebody's reel and this part. So let's go ahead and take away the reel. We don't really need our reel to be exported at this time. Okay, so now let's go ahead and set this up for exporting. Okay, so let's go ahead and set this up for exporting. And all I gotta do is start the queue and let it export. This is the bar that you're gonna be looking at for it to be exported fully. You can see the bar is moving relatively quick because only 9 seconds. And from there, once the export has been completed, you are set to view your project. Okay, so it's finished, and here's the video file that we exported. Let's double click it. First, let's check Command I. Let's check Command I to see did we get the exporting codes right. And as you can see, we did. Our format is ABC coding, 1920 by 1080. It's at 23 frames per second. Our frames per second is 23 frames per second. The data size is 39.7 megabytes. So that's a little smaller than what we expected. The current size is 1280 by 720. So that's basically how you can tell if you did it correctly. Go to Command I and read your files from there.
everyone, my name is Pierre-Louis from the Pierre-Louis Co. Today I'm going to be teaching you from the Adobe Premiere Suite how to import footage.
Okay, so the video exported correctly. Let's go ahead and save it from here, and everything should be a go. Thank you for watching, everybody. That's how you export with Adobe Premiere's exporting session with Pierre-Louis. Have a good day.